See you today. My name is Phoebe Chrisman. I'm the director of the Global Studies Program, which is a pan-university interdisciplinary program. So it's housed in the College of Arts and Sciences, but is in collaboration with the other schools across the university. And the Global Studies is made up of 6 tracks. The thing that we all share is really learning about and learning how to navigate complex global issues, social, political, economic, and environmental issues. For us, Charlottesville is part of the globe, and so all of our work is not international, but is looking at issues of a global scale and complexity. And this year we just actually added our 6th track. So the tracks, which are concentrations within the major and kind of independent learning communities that are connected but also semi-autonomous. Those tracks are things like global public health in partnership with the medical school, global development studies, global environments and sustainability, global security and justice, for instance, which has a more political focus, global commerce, which is a new program, which is in partnership with anthropology and sociology. And it's different than the Commerce School in the sense that it's less focused on skills and more focused on kind of critical analysis of global flows of capital and goods and services. And then the Global Middle East and South Asia program, which is in partnership with MISOC, the Department of Middle Eastern and South Asian Studies. In some order like that. And I guess the last thing I'll say is that each of those concentrations has a track director, and I can talk broadly about global studies and also the specific sustainability track. We weren't able to bring everyone today, but you can also reach out if you have really specific questions about some of those other tracks. Our application deadline is March 1st this year, which is a Monday.
Great, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know you'll get some specific questions about the different tracks, and so I encourage y'all, when you move into the breakout rooms, feel free to use the chat to share resources and more about upcoming deadlines and all of the specifics. So thank you, these overviews are really helpful. All right, we have some friends here from the School of Education and Human Development. Would you mind introducing yourselves?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica Livingston, and I'm the Director of Student Affairs at the School of Education and Human Development. Technically, we have 6 majors. We do have the traditional teacher education track, so if you're interested in teaching elementary education, special education, or early childhood education, those are undergraduate majors, which means that within 4 years, you can graduate and be licensed to teach. If you're interested in teaching at the high school level, we can also chat about that. That's still a master's program. We also have youth and social innovation, which is more focused on education, advocacy, policy research, more outside of the teaching realm. That is also a 4-year major. And then we have this other part of our school that I think sometimes students forget about, or maybe not. Maybe you're here to talk about these majors, but we have kinesiology, which is a great major if you're interested in medicine, nursing, physical therapy, athletic training, coaching, anything that's involved or focused on the human body and movement. Oftentimes we end up getting majors or students who are interested in bio coming over to kinesiology because they really want to focus in on the human body. So we have that as a major. And then we have speech communication disorders, which is a pre-professional major. That means that you would be headed to graduate school after this to receive your license as a speech pathologist or audiologist. It's again a profession which can take you into the healthcare realm. You can work with patients who are as young as infants who are born in the NICU or in the NICU and need help swallowing, all the way up to elderly patients who've had a stroke and need rehabilitation in that area, and also the ability to work in schools. So we just want to make sure that students realize that, yes, we have teacher ed and you can come and be a teacher. We need teachers, we want teachers, but we also have these other diverse majors that focus on health, well-being, and healthcare. So that's that. And our deadline is February 1st as of right now.
Thank you so much. That's great. All right, how about our friends from the Baton School? I think we have some staff and maybe some student representatives here as well. So if you can all introduce yourselves, that would be great.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Courtney Lyston Snyder. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at the Baton School. I work with both undergrad and grad admissions, so I'm happy to answer your questions about our bachelor's, minor, or even accelerated MPP program. I'm joined today by two of my wonderful Baton ambassadors, Jackie and Como, who can help answer your questions. Why Baton is a question we frequently hear. I think what makes Baton unique is also a good indicator of who's a good fit for our program. Our small by design interdisciplinary approach to solving issues of the day gives students the opportunity for experiential and applied opportunities, both inside and outside the classroom. When you leave Baton, you have strong analytical skills. You know how to write, design, and execute a policy project. You become a proficient public speaker and problem solver. All good preparation for a variety of careers. In a time that craves ethical leadership, and as Anna noted on this historical day, we attract the next leaders to our program. There's no one type of student at the Baton School, but at the end of the day, all of our students are passionate individuals excited about solving real issues in our society. Before coming to Baton, our applicants showcase a wide variety of policy interests, including having so many interests, it's hard to narrow it down to just one. They participate in a range of extracurricular experiences, from volunteering to balancing part-time jobs, and have taken an assortment of courses that align with their academic interests. There's absolutely no expectation for students to have had strong policy experiences or internships, so do not let your current experiences, particularly during COVID-19, dissuade you from applying. A strong applicant will give us authentic insight into who you are, what you're excited to change, and give us some insights into the type of leader you are and ultimately want to be. Make that very 2D application as 3D as possible by giving us all the information you can. And it goes without saying, be sure to answer every question in your essays in your own voice and include any additional information, including how the pandemic has affected you, in the catch-all optional application addendum. I'll be happy to answer your questions alongside some current students as you work on your BA application due January 29th or minor application due March 5th. Very whirlwind overview.
No, that was great. Thank you, Courtney. I really appreciate that. And if you're a Baton ambassador here, would you also just quickly say hi so your peers here can recognize you, and maybe just a really quick word about what you like about Baton or why you chose it?
Hi everyone, my name is Jackie. I am one of the Baton ambassadors. I'm a fourth year BA, and I guess why I chose Baton is really just the best of both worlds, where you have such an interdisciplinary focus in all different types of policies. Personally, for me, I didn't have any internships or really experiences when I was applying, so I'm definitely a person you can talk to if you're kind of in my boat as well.
And just piggybacking off of Jackie, hi, I'm Komal. I'm also fourth year, second year BA, double majoring with Spanish. And I think why I chose Baton was I really enjoyed like the leadership aspect of the school, also tying in a lot of like psychology classes with like studying public policy in a more abstract sense, as well as like very like tangible classes like econ and stat. So I really, I liked how interdisciplinary the major was.
All right, thank you so much, Kamal and Jackie. I really appreciate you sharing that. Okay, last but certainly not least, our friends at the McIntyre School of Commerce here. I would love to hear from you all as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anna. And it's official, Biden's our president. So I just saw that it flashed on the headline as a notification. I am not mad that you scheduled this because this is just as an important event in folks' future. So I'm Sonia. I'm with the McIntyre School of Commerce, pronouns they, them, theirs. And I have two wonderful students with me today, McIntyre, TJ Watson. Sorry, I was reading your name, TJ. TJ will say hello in a little bit. And then I have Sterling Clay. So if students are interested in leveraging business as a catalyst for change, then commerce is a major you should consider. So definitely book an appointment with us, talk to us about either the one major you're gonna have, which is commerce, then we'll talk a little bit about what that means, as well as maybe a little bit about our minors, both entrepreneurship and leadership, which are both housed under the McIntyre School of Commerce. So come and find out why we're different. And I will drop the bookings link in the chat and hand it back over to Anna.
Great, thank you so much. Let's hear just a word from TJ and Sterling as well about just say, introduce yourself and why you chose commerce.
Hi, everyone. I'm TJ. I am a fourth year in commerce, obviously. And what really interested me about commerce was that it can take you in so many different directions within the business world. They have the overarching concentrations, but then there's also a lot of different tracks. So you can really delve into your specific interests, which were for me, business analytics and entrepreneurship.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sterling, and I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a fourth year here in the comm school, as well as one of the ambassadors. So I kind of mimic what TJ said, something that I personally really appreciate about McIntyre and the experience, and what I think makes it something that everyone, regardless of their background, can really benefit from is the interdisciplinary nature of the program. So you get like a broad overview of the business world, but then you choose kind of how you want to shape it through the concentrations and tracks like TJ mentioned. So for example, I'm super passionate about technology, which is why I have like a concentration in IT and business analytics. And lastly, one of the biggest things that I always stress is that while everyone's path into McIntyre is different, everyone's path inside of McIntyre is also different. So it's really what you make of it.
Thank you all. That is awesome to hear. Let me just open up the floor for our panelists now. And Courtney already shared some great tips and some suggestions for their application, but I would like to hear from everyone here who reviews applications and knows what they're looking for in students. What tips do you have or general advice for submitting a great application for your major or for any major?
I guess I'll jump in. I don't know if you're calling on us. I would say in general, be specific, at least in terms of global studies applications, and also give examples. We have a series of prompts that you can see on our website that ask you very specific questions. And so, we're not basing our process, although we look at GPA and transcript, we're really building an intellectual community, and we're looking for people that are committed to the issues that we're studying. And so the letter or the statement is the place that we can understand who you are and why you want to be part of our community. So making vague statements is not helpful to us. So I guess that would be my big recommendation.
Love that. Be specific. Okay, thank you. How about other tips from other panelists? What do you like to see in an application?
I can jump in. So be specific, absolutely. Be passionate. Know it why you're there, right? Talk to folks, talk to me, talk to students, ask questions, and find out why it's exciting, right? And so I really, really love applications where the passionate really resonates enough through some of these essays, and you can tell that students were, intellectually curious and taking all kinds of classes and trying things out. And so doing that first and foremost will really, really speak volumes in terms of authenticity. So consider why you're passionate about that particular major or application that you're filling out.
Just to amplify the idea of specificity, I agree with that. And our Media Studies Admissions Committee looks fondly on the use of examples that are drawn from courses already taken in media studies. So a particular reading that just opened your eyes or blew your mind and really, led you to think, well, I must major in media studies. This is where I want to live. Or something you've seen, a film or a television program or a podcast that you've listened to. I would also say that it really is important to avoid cliche. That will sink your boat very quickly. So treat it as an elaborate, time consuming project. Don't do this at the last minute. That will not serve you well. So really take time, draft it. I'm speaking with respect to media studies about our first essay. We also have a second essay where we invite students to articulate what they can bring to the table, in the classroom, what experiences, what intellectual pursuits, what insights they can provide. So look carefully at our application, and it's all spelled out there.
I would just second or third, or everybody saying, be authentic to your story and why you've chosen to apply to our school. We hear that often from faculty, that they want to hear your story and what your goals are, and they don't necessarily need to align with what every other student is doing within the School of Education, Human Development. We also are not requiring for any reason for students to explain if they took credit, no credit at any time in a semester. If there is a question, we have about 5 short essay questions on our application. The final question, which we're working on rewording, but it's kind of like, this is a chance for you to explain if you may have struggled in a course or had a semester in which you've struggled. And as the Director of Student Affairs, and I'm sure as other professionals here, that's quite common. So really use that question if you feel you need to tell your story and to give us context. And even if it's something that's like, I'm planning on taking this class in the summer. I mean, it's really an opportunity for you to tell the faculty who you are, what your journey is, and what that's look like. We're not looking for any cookie cutter answers. We're really looking for students being authentic during the application process.
Okay, thank you all so much. Courtney, did you get to share all of your advice in your first round?
I think so. This is usually the only other thing I can add is usually is more with the grad applications, particularly those applying to lots of different schools. If you don't change the name of the program in your essay, like, oh, I'm so excited to apply to the Harvard Kennedy School, that's going to take you right away. We see quite a few students who also are applying to several of these competitive majors that are represented on the call, and we think that's great. We want you to find the best path for you. Just make sure your essays will say, I'm so excited to apply to Baton, not McIntyre or media studies or anything like that. It's those little tiny things that will go a long way. And if you have questions about if you're taking your essays the right way, we do have our ambassadors standing by and offering one-on-one assistance over the next 2 weeks. So if you have questions about it at all, they are here.
Super. Thank y'all so much. I think that's incredibly helpful. And we're going to head into breakout rooms in a minute. So just so everybody knows what to expect, if you're a student and you have a question, other people probably have that question too. So be brave, ask what's on your mind and what you really want to learn. For our panelists who will be facilitating the breakout rooms, you'll all, if there are 3 of you from COM, you'll all be in the same breakout room and you can just tag team on answering questions. And you can invite students to use the chat or ask questions out loud, whatever works for your group. And students, we won't need to come back here as a large group at the end. I want to let you all go if you've got all your questions answered, but I also want to give you the opportunity to come back to the main room and then join a different breakout room. If you would like to talk to more than one department, you're welcome to do that. So I'll broadcast a message around 12:40, just inviting folks who would like to switch rooms to come back to the main room and do that. And then panelists, you can just hang in there as long as students have questions. And if you have answered all the questions, you're welcome to just come back here so we can say thank you. But let me give a big thank you before we all split up. And I really appreciate your time taking this special hour to really help students out because there's a lot of nerves that we sense going into this application process. There's a lot on the line for them. So thank you all for doing this and supporting our students. All right, Ari, I think you can open up the breakout rooms.